Hello, hello. I have purchased another stack of books for us to go through together, so let's get started. The first one on the stack today is one that I almost didn't buy, but I did, of course. And that is Quest for Fire by J.H. Rosny Ain. I think that's French. It's a pen name for two brothers that co-wrote a few different books at the beginning of the 20th century. Now this one, Quest for Fire, it was later turned, I think 70 years after it was written, it was turned into a movie that is not a faithful representation of the book. And I think it's kind of scandalous. Maybe don't watch the movie. Yeah, the book, anyways, is kind of set in this like evolutionary environment. It says on the cover 80,000 years ago. Is the Earth really 80,000 years old? Depends who you ask. This book is about a bunch of different races of people that live in this like like caveman, basically, like Neanderthal world. And there's, like I said, a bunch of different races of people, and the book kind of follows this one tribe of people who their eternal flame is extinguished after this war. So they send out 3 of their people to go search for fire, to kind of bring it back to the village. And that, it kind of just follows them and their exploits and the people they meet, and just man versus nature kind of thing. So it was $1. Hard to say no. Next up, we have Dylan Thomas's Under Milkwood. Now, Dylan Thomas was a Welsh poet, and he is most known for his poem Do Not Go Gently Into That Dark Night, which is a very good poem, by the way, if you haven't read it. Now, Under Milkwood was one of his last works that he made before he died, and it is kind of a like humorous, satirical radio drama. So it was designed to be spoken. So a lot of I think there's like regional accents that are written into it. And there's tons of like strange, funny characters that are supposed to have like funny accents and voices that it's supposed to be on the radio, right? And what is the plot of this? I think the idea is that there's just a bunch of strange people living in this small Welsh town, and Dylan Thomas is kind of capitalizing on the eccentricities of all of these characters who, it starts off with like this, of all the characters dreaming and all the things they dream about, and then the day starts and they kind of bumble about their day, getting into all sorts of trouble. So yeah, it's supposed to be humorous. I'm looking forward to reading this. Under Milkwood. Next up, funny, like I said, Under Milkwood, one of the last things that Dylan wrote. The last novel that Virginia Woolf wrote is this one, Between the Acts. Now, Woolf herself considered this to be one of her best works. Her most quintessential is the word she uses. But interestingly enough, if you look on her Wikipedia page, under notable works on the side, this isn't listed, so kind of a bit strange that it's not. But Woolf, of course, was known for her kind of stream of consciousness style writing, and I don't think this book, Between the Acts, really has, obviously it has like a discernible plot, but it's not like it has like a clear resolution, I suppose. That's what I'm trying to say. The idea is that there is a small English town that's putting on this performance of this play, and there's kind of a twist at the end of the play, and the audience is kind of shocked. They don't really like it, and so the director is like, oh, that's not the response I wanted, and it's kind of sad at the end, and there's no really real resolution. But it kind of just follows the musings of the different people as they put on this play. Okay, next up we have a book with a fantastic cover. I love this cover, and that is The Autumn of the Patriarch by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Okay, look at that. It's a really funny drawing of that dude. Very, very wrinkly old man. The idea behind this book is that it's broken into 6 sections, and each section is kind of a retelling of this almost mythic archetypal figure of this South American dictator. And he almost takes on this like godlike quality to the people that are around him. Of course, he dies, and people are kind of surprised that this guy has died the same death as every other mere mortal, because he's so respected and revered that they didn't expect him to die. I think throughout the book it kind of retells the story of his reign and all of the crazy things he did as a dictator. And so I expect it to be partly humorous as well, so I am looking forward to reading this. And hopefully, if the book is half as good as the cover, then I will like it a lot. Next up, we have Arthur C. Clarke's Rendezvous with Rama. Okay, now Clarke was one of the big three of science fiction in the U.S. In the 20th century, alongside Asimov and Heinlein. Now Clarke is most famous for his novel 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was, of course, was turned into the landmark film. Now, Rendezvous with Rama is actually also one of his kind of cornerstone books, that one of the pillars of his bibliography. Now, the idea of this book is that there is, I keep saying that, the idea of this book, the plot summary of this book, is that there's this giant cylindrical metal cylinder. It's cylindrical, it's a cylinder. It's flying towards Earth. It enters the solar system. And so the nearest spaceship that with humans on it is like told to go investigate. But it's actually massive. Once they get inside, there's like this whole world in there with like a frozen ocean and like 3 towns and like these like this desert with like these spikes that like get charged electricity somehow. I don't know. The whole thing's very mysterious and alien. And so the whole book is just trying to them exploring the inside of this cylinder, which I think is named Rama. I think that's the name they give it, which is named after a Hindu god or something. Anyways, they're exploring the inside of this big cylinder, and they find all sorts of weird, crazy things, like these things they call biots, which are like half robot, half organic life forms. Yeah, and they just kind of go around exploring. It's very imaginative. And yeah, it did receive very good critical reviews when it was published. Okay, second last one here in our stack, we've got the Anglo-Saxon World Anthology. It's one of those Oxford classics, so you kind of have to pick it up. Probably paid like $3 for it, so always a good deal. A few things in here that are notable. It has Beowulf in here. Now I have a copy of Beowulf already. It's a little tattered though, so maybe this is a good backup copy to have. But it also has many other things in there, including The Wanderer and The Seafarer, 2 very famous poems. And what else? There's lots of other things in here. I'm not sure if I've heard of any of them before though, to be honest. There's some things that sound cool, but I have no idea what they're about. 31 Riddles, The Phoenix, The Panther and the Whale, The Fortunes of Men. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure when I'll get to this one, to be honest, but yeah, Anglo-Saxon stuff, very cool. Lastly, we have Stendhal's The Charterhouse of Parma. Now there's a very demure, coy-looking girl in the front of this book. I'm not sure who she's supposed to be, but yeah, Stendhal, like the very first book in the stack today, Stendhal's actually a pen name. I have his real name pulled up here, if I can see behind the camera. It is, oh, it's just using his pen name. Come on. Marie Henry Beale? Anyways, this guy was born end of the 18th century. He was a French aristocrat, and he sort of lived through the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. Now, this book, really impressively, because it's over 500 pages. This is not a thin volume, okay? This is over 500 pages. Stendhal wrote this book in 52 days. Now, I don't know if you have ever tried writing fiction. That's mad impressive. Like, being able to put out 10 pages of, like, quality, good stuff per day for 2 months straight is, yeah, that's wild. So anyways, that is really impressive. The plot of this book, I think it follows, like, a young Italian aristocrat, and just it follows his whole life from birth to death, and everything that he does to get into trouble, and you know, love affairs, and going to war, and yeah, anyways, I think Stendhal is kind of one of the first, I don't know if he's the first, but he was heavily associated with realism, so trying to depict people's everyday life, and other authors that came after him kind of like hail him as like a very impressive writer that captured people's psychology in a very compelling way. So I am looking forward to reading this one. The plot summary, when I was reading it, almost reminded me a little bit of Count of Monte Cristo, but I haven't read either of those books, so I don't know how fair of a comparison that is. But yeah, it does sound like a very adventurous, fun book to read. So looking forward to getting to that one eventually. But yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.